TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Speaking of, let's talk about the media. We talked about it a little bit earlier on. What do you think about all the attention the media now is giving wrestling in regards to drugs after the Benoit tragedy?
In some ways, it's good. Anytime you shine a light on something, if it comes and helps, and so many guys since the 80s, I really noticed steroids coming into our business in the 80s. So many guys have died. And I'm not saying that steroids done properly probably are very good. But when they're abused, they're very harmful. What happened with Benoit was a tragedy. I never met the kid. I didn't know him. I did know Nancy quite well. And it was heart-wrenching when I heard the way she had to die. I don't blame it on steroids. I don't blame it on any kind of drugs. Something like that is something that you can't prevent it. I don't know what happened. I don't know what caused him to do what he did. I don't think saying, oh, well, he was on steroids or he was on, different kinds of drugs. There's a lot of people that do steroids that don't kill anyone. There's a lot of people that do drugs that don't kill anyone. I think this was a special, unique situation. What caused it to happen, God only knows, and we'll never know.
Right.
I think the media jumped on it like they would to Anna Nicole, the way they did the bridge collapsing in Minneapolis, the way they're doing right now with the miners in Utah. In my estimation, the media are the biggest bunch of whores ever invented. If my grandparents sat down and watched the news media today, they would turn it off. They would have nothing to do with it. And I think that it was a segment. All these cable stations, they know if they get on and they blast Vince and they talk about tragedy, their rating's going to jump 2 or 3 points. And they use it to benefit themselves, and they could care less. They could care less about what happened to Nancy or Daniel or Chris for that matter. They could care less what kind of slander they bring to the WWE or what they do harm to Vince's business. I'm sure that Vince McMahon didn't want anything like that to happen. I'm sure Linda is as horrified as the rest of us. They don't want that. I mean, that's the worst possible thing that could happen. And how could you hold Vince responsible for that would be like holding Gary Hart responsible for what happened to the Von Erichs and Gino and Chris Adams. God knows I tried, but it's personal choice. And I just think the media went overboard and they blew it way out of proportion. I'm not saying the act that was committed, it was heinous, it was beyond horrible, but that was a personal, private thing that happened, and they try to make it part of all of wrestling. I never beat my wife. I never choked my children. I never abused my children or my wife. I mean, did I smoke pot? Yes. I knew guys that did acid. I knew guys that did speed. I never knew them to do that. So to say that some way wrestling is responsible, that's just an easy way to point a finger if you want to say they're bad.
Right.
But I just think it was a horrible tragedy.
Does the lack of kayfabe in wrestling today bother you?
It did when it was exposed first by Turner's people in the Wall Street Journal. That really pissed me off. And when Vince exposed it, it really pissed me off. But as time has went by, I've learned to live with it. And if they think that that's the way to go, but I know one thing, I was never a phony. I was never a faker. Did I manipulate? Yes, I did. But I wasn't someone that would lay down just because a promoter told me to. If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't do it, and I would be prepared to take the consequences. And I was fired on multiple occasions because I didn't go along with what promoters wanted me to do. So I looked at myself in my era of wrestling. You had the right to say no. There was a price to pay for it. And some of us paid that price on more than one occasion. Where today, it's hard to say no because there's so few places to go.
Right.
So that's really the difference in wrestling. If there was multitude, if there were 5 places that you could go and make money, a promoter could not control you. The only way you can be controlled is when there's no place else to go. You either go home or you do what they want. I could not exist in that world.
I agree. Who are your favorite guys that you like to work with as far as managing?
Well, Don Jardine would have been my all-time favorite. I really liked Gino Hernandez a lot, Mark Lewin a lot, Al Perez a whole lot. I mean, not only was I their manager, we were buddies. You know, we really liked each other personally. So those would have been my favorite ones.
Is there anybody that? Well, I guess there wouldn't be. I was going to ask you if there was anybody that you were with that you hated, but you pretty much chose everybody. So,
No,
yeah.
I would not, unless I felt that we could be friends. Because when you're a manager with a guy, I mean, that guy has to really trust you that you're going to do what's best for him, you know. And if you don't find a guy that you like, it's not easy to get people to do things that they don't want to do. And if you don't like a guy, you know, I mean, you're not going to go that extra mile for him. And I was very selective of guys I managed. I had a few guys that I did as favors for other people, but basically most of the guys that I managed, even now when I see them, like last night I saw the One Man Gang, haven't seen him in 20 years,
Right.
come up and give me a big hug. You know, if I talk to Larry Sabisco or the Ultimate Warrior, you know, all these guys were with me when they were young.
I forgot to ask you about Dingo.
Yeah,
what was he like as a person?
He was a terrific guy. Even when he made it big in New York, I was in WCW. I would see him at the airports. He was always very, very nice. He'd always go and give me a big hug, thank me for everything. Never had any problems with him. But like I said, I had very few problems with guys that I booked or managed. I always had a pretty good rapport with them, and we left on good terms too, which was always nice.
I guess
TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.